Hi, I'm Salita Reynolds, General Manager of the Los Angeles Department of Transportation. I want to let you know how the city is updating the way we evaluate how transportation relates to new development to improve mobility, how we get around town, and our quality of life.
Transportation technology changes quickly. New ride-sharing services like Uber and Lyft have changed the way people get around Los Angeles. In November 2016, we voted to invest $120 billion in comprehensive new transportation choices, which will continue to evolve how we use our streets. Our city's analysis and regulations must evolve too. That means understanding how people travel is just as important as building infrastructure and fixing potholes. LADOT is adopting new methods to better evaluate the effects of new development on neighborhoods. Changes include monitoring to ensure mitigation measures are effective and identifying quality, context-sensitive solutions that go beyond just new traffic signals. We are improving our transportation analysis methods to achieve environmental protection goals shared by the city, county, and state, and to also reflect what people care about in their neighborhoods and their city.
14, 13, 12, 1.
We know the ways we currently study traffic in Los Angeles can result in outcomes that are out of step with our vision for growth and neighborhood quality. The existing approach conflicts with our Complete Streets policy and community values. We also know it doesn't work. We can't build our way out of congestion. By evaluating impacts based on driver delay, we prioritize the number of cars that can move through an intersection over everybody else. We tend to attempt to fix congestion by widening the street to increase vehicular throughput. We now know that widening a road actually leads to more congestion. It also creates wide, fast streets that can be less safe and less comfortable for everyone, no matter how they travel. Our old way of doing things, which focused almost entirely on local intersections, overlooks how new development can add long-distance trips to our streets. In other words, it was easier and less expensive for developers to build projects far away from the city center because they had fewer local impacts, even if the project added lots of new long-distance trips for people to access jobs and education. Measuring the vehicle miles traveled, which is the amount of driving and length of vehicle trips generated by land use projects, allows us to account for the efficiency of the location, how much the development reinforces other travel choices besides driving alone, or how it improves access to common destinations through proximity to transit, jobs, and neighborhood services. So why are we looking at this now? We are coming to terms with the fact that we cannot widen streets or build new roads to get rid of congestion. Previous attempts to do so, like the 405 freeway widening, made traffic worse and increased people's travel times. Now is the time to better link together land use and transportation decisions to bring Angelenos closer to their destinations, foster economic growth, environmental sustainability, safety, and local business prosperity. We want to make sure that new development strengthens our neighborhoods and our travel choices and doesn't trap people with long commutes and no options. Our update to the city's transportation review methods supports revisions to the California Environmental Quality Act guidelines, which comply with the state's mandate to evaluate the vehicle miles traveled of land use projects. State guidance tasks cities to replace delay-based vehicle level of service with vehicle miles traveled per capita as an impact criteria under CEQA. Evaluating vehicle miles traveled helps complete the transportation puzzle by offering a more complete picture of how land use affects our transportation system. We will always continue to evaluate transportation impacts from a safety and access perspective at the local level. We can now match the right analysis tool to the right question. By focusing on VMT, we can better relate the choices we make during project evaluation to the outcomes that people care about. We can improve mobility by assessing projects based on total travel distance, encouraging development near transit, and promoting more travel choices. This way, our California Environmental Quality Act process advances our city sustainability goals, reflected in our Mobility Plan 2035, the city's Sustainable City Plan, and the Mayor's Vision Zero and Great Streets initiatives. We're updating the way we look at transportation and new development to make our streets safe, give people choices for how they get around, be more sustainable and resilient, and improve your quality of life.
Hi, I'm Salita Reynolds, General Manager of the Los Angeles Department of Transportation. You are watching part 2 of our informational video series describing our new transportation review methodology. Let me unpack the technical details of this new process.
Using newly available comprehensive transportation data sources and site-specific trip information, we updated our tools to make sure our new process captures LA-specific characteristics rather than generalized averages from around the country. We updated and validated our travel demand forecasting model to help us understand where and how far people are traveling in any given area with a greater degree of accuracy. We collected trip and parking data from existing Los Angeles projects to estimate trip generation based on local travel patterns. Using this data, we built the city's own vehicle miles traveled calculator, which we can use to predict how neighborhood and site characteristics influence trip making. The calculator provides a menu of strategies proven to be effective in promoting sustainable travel and easing congestion from new development. So what does this mean for our project evaluation process? In short, we now evaluate a project's impact on vehicle miles traveled. Just as we do today, we will not require technical analyses for very small projects. For projects that do exceed initial screening criteria, we will have new guidelines and tools for practitioners to estimate the vehicle miles traveled impacts of those projects and indicate when they need to use our travel demand forecasting model. We also needed to decide how we assess project performance. What benchmark does the city use to determine an impact? California's Office of Planning and Research suggested comparing project vehicle miles traveled to a regional vehicle miles traveled per capita target. As you can see on the map, most areas of the city already generate much lower vehicle miles traveled per capita than the regional average, where our household vehicle miles traveled per capita is nearly half that of the region. This makes sense considering how easy it is to access housing and jobs using transit in the city relative to other cities. We asked a panel of peer professionals to help us determine a measure of comparison that would result in meaningful level of scrutiny in our evaluation process and would be tailored to account for the travel characteristics of the city's diverse neighborhoods. We chose Area Planning Commission geographic boundaries as the vehicle miles traveled benchmark unit of measurement to provide a fair level of comparison when reviewing a project's impact on travel. This helps guarantee context-sensitive development review so that a project in the San Fernando Valley is compared to the average vehicle miles traveled per capita in that area rather than being compared to the characteristics of different parts of the city. With this new approach, we worked to simplify the process by developing a vehicle miles traveled calculator, shown here to be used by all practitioners that do transportation impact studies. The calculator requests the user to input their project's location, planned uses, and project size to estimate its vehicle miles traveled. We customized it using local travel characteristics for each part of the city based on data from the city's travel model based on the transportation analysis zone where the project is located. The calculator considers housing affordability and local neighborhood characteristics that inform travel behavior, such as access to transit or a proximity to diverse destinations. It also provides the user with options to include a wide range of travel demand management strategies proven to reduce vehicle miles traveled. On the right side of the screen, you can see how the calculator reports the estimated daily vehicle trips, daily vehicle miles traveled, and household or employee vehicle miles traveled per capita. There are many transportation demand management strategies that can help reduce vehicle miles traveled and congestion, including parking management, transit incentives, and network improvements. Our old method did not achieve these goals. Proposed projects can also take advantage of new mobility services to further expand choices, such as membership to car sharing. By providing a bundle of mobility options, we can encourage people to use the most sustainable one. As we analyze site-specific data from project monitoring reports we review in our city, we can refine the calculator with even greater accuracy around trip making and parking demand after these projects are open. We also expect to monitor the projects themselves closely and create agreements to make sure they are performing the way we hoped. We're working hard to update our review methods to show a more complete picture of transportation and deliver a happier travel experience for all Angelinos.